Howdy, this is Marisa with Marisa Moments. So let's talk true stories. So Spirit brought back into my awareness a few situations that happened in my past life, right? Well, within this lifetime though. I can recall when I was in London at one point with a new position. Now, mind you, I was all dressed up to the nines. I had never traveled internationally, so I had these fly high heel boots on and this suitcase that just kept knocking over because it was on wheels, one of those old school ones. I had this long trench coat on with like this fly collar and whatnot, and I could barely keep up because they were power walking and I had my heels on. My suitcase kept falling over. But anyway, that's not the story, but that makes a great, visual, right? So I'm there, I'm trying to keep up and all of these things, new position in London. And my employer at the time, we're having conversation and he stops and he looks at me dead in the face and says, "Has anyone ever told you that you're intimidating and scary?" I said, "No." He said, "Especially like men. Have they ever told you that you're intimidating?" I said, "No." So I stopped talking in that moment and I was like, oh, wow, okay. Fast forward to another circumstance. I asked somebody who was in a car with me, I said, "You know what, do you ever think that I'll get married?" And they said, point blank period, "Not if you keep acting the way that you do now." I said, "Wow, well, thank you for your honesty." Then I paused and I shrank. Another situation, completely unprompted, a woman and her mother both collectively came to me and said, "You know what, Marisa, you know what your problem is? You're too smart. And you let people know that you're too smart. So no man is ever going to want that." Mind you, all of these situations and circumstances were prior to me meeting my husband. Even at one point, there was another woman, a colleague that I worked with, when she saw a picture of my husband, she was like, "How'd you ever get him?" Wow. Anywho, I'm telling you this is because in those situations, I did pause, but I did come right back because I am who I am, right? And whatever. Now, you can probably, if you reflect back on situations in your life, maybe you had something similar that happened to you. Now, the question behind those moments are, did you allow yourself to stay stuck in those positions or did you push ahead? And if you did stay stuck, then revisit those moments, because what ancestors want you to do is revisit that moment and rehab that conversation again in your mind, of course, and tell that person, "This is who I am. So I know I can stand in my confidence, and I know that I'm only going to grow from here, and I will be attracting in the type of people, places, and things that are capable of handling the greatness that I am. Because if I'm too much, then you go find less," right? I know you've heard that before. Bottom line is this: you are amazing. So don't freaking shrink.